Welcome to the San Diego County Academic League, featuring the area's best and brightest high school students. They'll be responding to tough questions in a variety of subject areas, from history to literature to science to math and more. I'm Clark Anthony. Welcome to more Academic League action here on ITV. It is playoff season all around the county as we get ever closer to naming a new county champion for the year 2013. We are focusing on the South Bay this time around. Earlier today we had a match where Olympian beat Bonita Vista. In the match you're about to see, Southwest High School will meet Eastlake High School. The winner of this match will then go on to take on Olympian for the Sweetwater District Championship. And then the winner of that match will go on to the county finals. It is an exciting time. Let's meet the coaches and the starting lineups, and then we'll be underway. Come on over here, Steve. There we go. Steve Grau is the coach from Southwest High School. He has I like this. You have a degree from UCSD in management science, so naturally you're teaching physics. There's a disconnect there somewhere.
No. That's one thing I've learned by teaching is that there's never a disconnect. You always just got to roll with the punches and do the best that you can.
And keep talking, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the way it works. As long as you can stand in front of some kids and start teaching some stuff, you're good to go.
I have the feeling you're terrific at it. His wife also teaches at Southwest, right?
Yeah, my wife's actually a chemistry teacher at the same school. She is a much better teacher than I am, actually.
He knows how to keep everybody happy at home, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And speaking of everybody at home, you have a couple young children?
Yeah, I have my son. He's 2.5. His name's Xander. He's actually a bottle of rocket, goes all over the place. And I have my daughter, who's 4, and she's a little princess.
Of course, good for you. This is Steve's third year coaching Academic League. Would you introduce your starting lineup left to right, please?
Most definitely. At seat number 1, I actually have Jonathan Gonzalez. Jonathan's my junior and has quickly earned a place in our team, though he's only been part of the league for only 2 years. Jonathan likes to claim that his life revolves around listening to the Beatles and Led Zeppelin, but he was crowned ruler of the world in AP World History. Jonathan hopes when he graduates next year that he'll be attending Stanford or UCLA and plans on studying neuroscience. Next up, we have Damaris. Damaris is a senior, and this is her second year at Southwest Academic League. She's proven her worth time and time again and was voted last year's best newcomer. She will be attending UC Santa Barbara in the fall, where she'll be studying psychology. She's a bit of a Doctor Who fan, a little bit, and I'm hoping she actually has her supersonic screwdriver on her right now. Next up, we have Ruben Vega in center seat. He's the captain. Little known fact about Ruben. He's actually a published author, is a Carson Scholar, and we just found out this morning he's actually a recipient of the Gates Millennium Scholarship. So fantastic. He's also gotten full rides to Yale, Columbia, Stanford, Princeton. He's been traveling all across the United States trying to figure it out. And to say the least, he's a valedictorian. He still doesn't know where he's going. Next up, we got Alan Alvarez. He's a senior, and he likes metal. He's going to my alma mater, UC San Diego. He's going to be studying electrical engineering in the fall. He has a long history with academic success and was MVP of our JV team last year. He likes to play video games on his spare time, but I like to prove to him time and time again that I'm actually a lot better than he is at Black Ops. Next up, we've got Sal Navarro. Sal's a senior. He's been a part of the Academic League for the last 4 years. He's one of my favorite players I've ever had. He always comes through in a pinch for me. He's got a brilliant mind, loves poetry, loves photography, and will be attending Southwestern College in the fall.
Outstanding group. Sounds like they also have a good sense of humor.
Oh, most definitely. Well, they have to deal with me.
I was going to mention that, but you already did. You may take your spot over there. Good luck, Steve, to you and the team from Southwest. Come on over here. Chris Domingo is the coach for Eastlake High School. They were South County champs 2 years ago, and of course, Chris was there. He teaches government and AP English, and this is his 9th and final year of coaching, I understand.
Yeah. Unfortunately, all good things come to an end. Well, it's not quite ended quite yet, so hopefully we go out with a big bang here over the next, hey, why not 4 matches? Let's put it that way.
And we should say that it's your choice, and you're planning to add some other things to your plate, and so that's all cool. And I always have to remember that this man with the beautiful full head of hair 1 year shaved it because the team won and you lost the bet then or something, right? Or how did it
Well, that was in 2008. We ended up winning the county championship. So one of the, casualties in our campaign was my full head of hair. But it grew back, so obviously.
Good. And it came back dark, too. It hasn't come back completely gray.
No, that's true.
We were into pop references over there. Are you still into the TV show Breaking Bad?
Yeah, it's still my favorite show. Waiting for the summer for the last few episodes, and we'll see what actually happens to Mr. White.
All right. Would you introduce your starting lineup from left to right for us, please?
In seat number 1, we have Javier Regata. He's a senior. It's his second year on varsity. His hobbies include playing tennis, running, and playing video games, with the favorite subjects being physics, chemistry, and calculus. And he's got to make a decision. We'll be attending either MIT or Stanford in the fall to major in biomechanical engineering. In seat number 2, we have another senior, Manuel Torres, in his second year on varsity. He likes to read top 10 lists and watch science videos on YouTube. I guess that's a thing that people do. And he will be attending Stanford University in the fall to major in biochemistry. In seat number 3, our captain, senior Alberto Corona. This is his third year on varsity. He's captain, and his hobbies include relaxing and watching movies and TV, especially Survivor, Parks and Recreation, which I'm a big fan as well, and The Voice. Likes the color green, and again, he'll also have a very hard decision. He'll be attending either MIT or Harvard in the fall. In seat 4, we have a junior, Francisco Torres. This is his first year on varsity. He was with me on JV last year. He wants to attend Columbia or UCLA to major in biology when the future comes up. He will be next year's senior class vice president. Okay. And then, but he likes to waste time watching My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. In seat number 5, we have our lone sophomore, AJ Tongson. This is his first year on varsity. Favorite subjects include science and history. He likes playing video games, especially Pokemon and Minecraft, and playing with technology. He wants to attend in a few years' time, either Stanford, UCSD, UCLA, or UC Irvine.
Very impressive, as always. Good luck to you and the team.
Thank you very much.
You may take your spot over there. Dr. Daniel Cohen is our moderator. He is a graduate of Mar Vista High School, has degrees from UCSD, and he's taught various math classes. Right now, he is part of the academic support team for Sweetwater District, and it is his third year as moderator. So it will be Olympian against either Southwest or Eastlake for the championship in the South Bay. And because there are some differences in the way the matches are played in the South Bay compared to what you may have seen earlier on some of the academic league teams from the other places in the county, I was going to let Daniel Cohen explain the difference, especially in how they do the bonus questions. Dan?
Thank you, Clark. Our bonuses are actually linked to each other. Each one builds on the next. So I have to ask for an answer for each part of the bonus before I can read the next part, because reading the next part would often give away the first. So what you'll see is a 5-second delay in between each bonus part where the students are conferring, and then the captain will give me the answer. So without further ado, we'll have an 18-minute half. Southwest versus Eastlake. We'll start with a toss-up question. This will be for both teams. This country is the setting of the plays The Ghost Sonata and Miss Julie by August Strindberg. A king of this nation, nicknamed the Lion of the North, was killed fighting in the 30 Years' War. Gustavus Adolf for Eastlake.
Sweden.
Is correct for 3 points. Your bonus. In February 2013, the Deputy Secretary of this cabinet-level department told the Senate that a sequester would cause direct and devastating consequences of the department's operations. Name this department headquartered in the Pentagon.
Wave time.
Captain.
Defense.
Is correct. In 2011, this former director of the CIA became Secretary of Defense.
Wave time.
Captain.
Panetta.
Correct. One part of the Defense Department is this research arm that developed a forerunner of the Internet in 1969.
I'm going to defer to you.
Captain.
Defer to AJ.
AJ?
ARPANET.
No, I needed the DARPA, so I can give you 2 right for 3 points on that one. Toss-up question. The unpopularity of this politician's community charge led to the poll tax riots. In 1990, John Major replaced this politician, whose popularity had soared after the defeat of Argentina for Eastlake.
Thatcher.
Thatcher is correct. 3 points and your bonus. He made a historic trip to China in 1972. Name this U.S. president who resigned 2 years later because of the Watergate scandal.
Wave time.
Captain.
Nixon.
Correct. This minimalist American composer wrote the opera Nixon in China. He also wrote Dr. Atomic.
Wave time.
Captain.
Handle.
No, it's Adams. Third part, Nixon's visit to China followed a period of Sino-American diplomacy named after this sport, which an American team played in China in 1971.
Baseball. Basketball.
Captain.
Baseball.
It's the ping pong democracy or diplomacy. Excuse me. 1 right for 1 point. Toss up. Henry Cavendish measured this force with a torsion balance. This weakest of the 4 fundamental forces is governed for Southwest.
Gravity.
Is correct. 3 points and your bonus. Answer the following about the North African campaign of World War II. German forces in North Africa were led by what field marshal known as the Desert Fox?
Wave, Rommel.
Correct. Rommel was in Germany during the first 2 days of what October 1942 battle, an Allied victory that turned the tide in North Africa?
What was it?
Tripoli.
Captain.
Tripoli.
It's Alamein. Third, at El Alamein, the British 8th Army was led by Bernard Montgomery, who later led ground forces for a D-Day landing operation with this codename.
Overlord. Operation Overlord.
Wave, Overlord.
Captain. Correct. 2 right for 3 points. Toss up. This composer included the song Will o' the Wisp in his Winterreise. He based a string quartet on his song Death and the Maiden, and a piano imitates for Southwest.
Schubert.
Is correct. 3 points and your bonus. This nation on the Pacific Ocean contains the Atacama Desert. Name this South American nation whose capital is Santiago.
Wave,
Cap-
Chile.
Correct. Chile also owns part of this 18,000 square mile island lying on the Strait of Magellan.
Tierra del Fuego.
Wave, Tierra
Captain.
del Fuego.
Correct. Chile shares control of Tierra del Fuego with this nation.
Argentina.
Wave,
Captain.
Argentina.
Correct. All 3, 5 points. Toss up. One of this author's novels ends with the flood on the tidal river, in which siblings Tom and Maggie Tulliver are drowned. She also wrote about the former best friend of William Dane, a title Weaver of Ravlo. Name this author of The Mill on the Floss and Silas Marner. For Southwest.
George Eliot.
Correct. 3 points. Your bonus. He is the husband of Sif. Name this Norse god of thunder.
Thor.
Wave, Thor.
Correct. Thor's father is this
Odin.
chief god.
Odin.
Wave, Odin.
Correct. Thor's main weapon, Mjolnir, is this type
Hammer.
of object.
Wave, Hammer.
Correct. All 3, 5 points. Toss up. Pencil and paper ready. 10 seconds. Len needs to know how many dimes he has. He has a total of 24 dimes and quarters, whose total value is $4.05. To solve, he can either set up 2 equations and 2 unknowns, or just use trial and error. How many dimes does Len have? No answer. That would be 13 dimes. Toss-up question. A political cartoon about this company showed Teddy Roosevelt fighting a Hydra-like version of it. The Sherman Antitrust Act. For Southwest.
Standard Oil.
Standard Oil is correct. 3 points and your bonus. After a 1948 election, this nation adopted a policy of racial segregation known as apartheid. Name this African country whose most populous city is Johannesburg.
Wave, South
Captain?
Africa.
Correct. Apartheid was completely ended in 1994 with the election of this black man as president. He had previously spent 27 years in prison.
Wave, Nelson Mandela.
Correct. This National Party leader released Mandela from prison and peacefully handed over power a year after sharing the Nobel Peace Prize with Mandela.
Is it Dubois? I think it is. Parker? Or is it Parker? Dubois.
Captain.
Dubois.
Now I needed de Klerk, 2 right for 3 points. Toss up. A shield in this painting is inscribed with its commissioners' names, and a man in the back swings a yellow and blue flag. For Southwest.
The Night Watch.
Is correct for 3 points. Your bonus. Answer the following about electrical current. This is its SI unit.
Current.
Ampere.
Amps.
Amps.
Wave, amps.
Captain. Correct. Electrical current is squared and multiplied by resistance to yield the electrical form of this quantity. It is also equal to the product of current and voltage.
Power. Wave, power.
Correct. This man is the namesake of a rule which states that the sum of currents entering a junction in a circuit must equal the sum of the currents leaving the junction.
Is it Coulomb?
No, not
Kirchhoff.
No, Kirchhoff. It
There
could be
you go.
Kirchhoff.
Wave, Kirchhoff.
Correct. All 3 for 5 points. Toss up. This value equals the natural log of the number of microstates times 4, Eastlake.
Entropy.
Entropy is correct, 3 points, and your bonus. One member of this family, Louis XVI, was guillotined in 1793. Name this dynasty that ruled France before the French Revolution.
Wave time. Bourbon.
Correct. The first Bourbon ruler of France was this man, who proclaimed Paris is worth a mass after converting to Catholicism.
Henry IV. Wave time.
Captain?
Henry IV.
Correct. This house ruled France before the House of Bourbon.
Valois.
I'm going to defer to you. Wave time.
Captain?
Defer to Manuel.
Valois.
Is correct, or Valois, the more common pronunciation, but that's 3 right for 5 points. Toss up. Caude de Creuse lies at the eastern edge of this range. To its north lies the region of Gascony, and to its south lies Navarre. At the western end of this, for southwest.
The Pyrenees.
Is correct for 3 points. Your bonus. Name these colorful poetry subjects. In a Gelett Burgess poem, I never hope to see one of these barnyard creatures. The poem continues, but I can tell you anyhow, I'd rather see than be one.
See the mean one. Something beautiful. A horse.
Captain.
Horse.
It's a purple cow. Second part, William Carlos Williams said, so much depends on this utility item. Glazed with rain, water, beside the white chickens.
Umbrella.
Red wheelbarrow. But I think of it.
Captain.
Please refer to player 2.
Player 2.
Red wheelbarrow.
Is correct. Wallace Stevens wrote about 13 ways of looking at one of these creatures, which may be flying, sitting in cedar limbs, or casting a shadow.
Crow. Black crow. White dove. White dove.
Captain.
Sparrow.
I needed blackbird. Sorry, 1 right for 1 point. Toss up. In October 2012, this country was accused of plotting Operation Murky Water, a planned oil spill. This followed the hyperinflation of its currency, the real, due to foreign sanctions. For Eastlake.
Spain.
For Southwest. In October 2012, this country was accused of plotting Operation Murky Water, a planned oil spill. This followed the hyperinflation of its currency, the real, due to foreign sanctions. Name this most populous Shiite country led by President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. For Southwest.
Iran.
Iran is correct. 3 points and your bonus. In 2012, this country's newly elected socialist president proposed raising its top tax rate to 75%. Name this European country now headed by François Hollande.
Wave. France.
Captain. Correct. Hollande replaced this president, leader of the Union for a Popular Movement, who ruled from 2007 to 2012.
Wave. Sarkozy.
Sarkozy is correct. France is currently experiencing job losses due in part to cutbacks at this auto manufacturer that owns the Citroën brand.
Fiat.
No, that's Italian.
Mercedes-Benz. No. Fiat.
Mercedes is also Fiat. Fiat's Italian.
Captain.
Fiat.
Now I needed Peugeot, so that would be 2 right for 3 points. Timeout for Eastlake.
This SAT word, abdicate. What's it mean to abdicate?
Isn't that when you do crunches to strengthen your abs?
Abdicate, a verb. To give up on something formally, such as ownership or power.
Yeah, like I said. You do crunches and abdicate those extra pounds by developing your abs. Abdicate.
I think you've abdicated your senses.
Why, thank you.
With 7:45 left in the first half, we have Southwest leading 46 to Eastlake 17. We'll go in with a toss-up for both teams. Jean-Paul Sartre wrote a critique of the dialectical form of this. One form of this was described as a faculty for determining the will. For Southwest.
Reason?
Is correct. 3 points and your bonus. Name these American composers. This man wrote the music and lyrics to Sweeney Todd and Into the Woods, as well as the lyrics for West Side Story.
What's a story? That would be Bernstein.
Yeah, Bernstein.
Captain.
Bernstein.
Is correct. This composer won a Pulitzer for his opera Vanessa, but may be better known for his Adagio for strings.
Go with Aaron Copland. Copland? Yes.
Captain.
Copeland.
Now I need Samuel Barber on that one. Third part, a wooden board is used to produce cluster chords on the piano in this man's Concord Sonata.
Stephen Foster.
Captain.
Foster.
Needed Charles Ives on the third. That was 1 for 1 point. Toss up. Pink 4 o'clock plants exhibit the incomplete form of this phenomenon, while type AB blood is an example for Eastlake.
Dominance.
Dominance is correct for 3 points and your bonus. This novel contains the slogan, all for one and one for all. Name this 1844 novel whose title characters are Athos, Porthos, and Aramis, soldiers who fight for 17th century France.
Wave time. Three Musketeers.
Correct. The Three Musketeers was written by this French novelist. His son of the same name wrote The Lady of the Camellias.
Wave time.
Captain?
Dumas.
Correct. This character is a spy for Cardinal Richelieu and murders D'Artagnan's lover, Constance.
Anything?
Captain.
Porthos.
Needed Melody de Winter. 2 right for 3 points. Bonus. Toss up. The Albizzi family ruled this city after the revolt of textile workers known as Ciompi. 4 southwest.
Florence.
Florence is correct for 3 points and your bonus. Name these things involving squares. To write a quadratic equation in vertex form, one might do this to it.
Quadratic form? Quadratic formula.
Captain.
Set it into a quadratic formula.
I was looking for complete the square. Second, it is an ancient problem since proven impossible to use a compass and straight edge to construct a square with the same area as one of these shapes.
Sorry, just shape.
Captain.
Circle.
Correct. It was recently proven that 0, 1, and 144 are the only perfect squares in this set that has a recursive definition. Captain.
Fibonacci sequence.
Is correct. 2 right for 3 points. Toss up. This poet wrote, "The ship is anchored safe and sound, its voyage closed and done," in a poem marking the end of the Civil War. Another poem begins, "I celebrate myself." 4 southwest.
Whitman.
Whitman is correct for 3 points. Your bonus. While holding a skull, he proclaims, "Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him, Horatio." Name this title Prince of Denmark who visits a churchyard in a play by William Shakespeare.
Wave. Hamlet.
Correct. While in the churchyard, Hamlet sees the maimed rites being held for this drowned sister of Laertes.
Ophelia. Wave.
Captain.
Ophelia.
Correct. Once Hamlet dies, the throne of Denmark passes to this man, who arrives after Hamlet fatally wounds Laertes.
Just sorry.
Captain.
The King of Norway.
It's Fortinbras. 2 right for 3 points. Toss up. Along the imaginary axis, the complete exponential is this type of function. They can be written as Fourier series and satisfy f of x equals f of the quantity x plus 4 Eastlake.
Even.
4 southwest. Along the imaginary axis, the complete exponential is this type of function. They can be written as Fourier series and satisfy f of x equals f of the quantity x plus k for some non-zero k. Name these functions that repeat their values regularly, like the sine and cosine functions. 4 southwest.
Odd.
No, it's looking for periodic there as a more general term. Toss up. West of this nation's capital is Rizal province. To its southwest is the Sulu Sea, and to 4 Eastlake.
Philippines.
Philippines is correct, 3 points, and your bonus. Groups cannot rotate around these bonds because they contain both a sigma bond and a pi bond. Name these types of bonds whose presence defines an alkaline.
Double bond. Wave time.
Captain?
Double bond.
Is a double bond is correct. A resonance hybrid rather than alternating single and double bonds occurs in this aromatic hydrocarbon with formula C6H6. Its structure was proposed by Auguste Kekule.
Wave time.
Captain?
Benzene.
Correct. Trading one of benzene's hydrogen atoms for a methyl group yields this benzene derivative, a precursor to TNT.
Cyclohexane.
Glycerin.
Captain?
Glycerin.
Not needed toluene. 2 right for 3 points. Toss up. In this novel, a character nicknamed One Shot kills a rabid dog. The narrator of this novel attends a pageant in a ham costume on the night that she is attacked by Bob 4 southwest.
To Kill a Mockingbird?
To Kill a Mockingbird is correct, 3 points. Your bonus. An 1823 doctrine stated the U.S. would not tolerate European encroachment into the Western Hemisphere. Identify that doctrine named for the American president at the time. Captain.
Monroe Doctrine.
Correct. The Monroe Doctrine was written during this era of prosperity, noted for a lack of political disputes. Captain.
Era of Good Feelings.
Correct. The doctrine was primarily formulated by this Secretary of State.
Secretary of State.
No, Quincy Adams.
Yeah, Monroe was Quincy Adams.
Captain.
John Quincy Adams.
Is correct. All three for 5 points. Toss up. After this man set forth the doctrines of an Atman, his disciples became Arhats and the first members of the Sangha. His other teachings included the Four Noble Truths. 4 Southwest.
The Buddha.
The Buddha is correct. 3 points and your bonus. This 151-foot sculpture on a namesake island in New York Harbor depicts a figure holding up a torch and a tablet upon which is inscribed the date July 4th, 1776. Name this sculpture a gift to the U.S. from the people of France. Captain.
The Statue of Liberty.
Correct. The poet Emma Lazarus called the Statue of Liberty a new version of this bronze statue in Rhodes, which depicts Helios. Captain.
The Colossus of Rhodes.
Correct. This French sculpture created the Statue of Liberty. Captain.
Bartholdi.
Is correct. All three for 5 points. Toss up. Dark examples of these entities include the snake one in Ophiuchus, while emission ones, like the one dubbed Lagoon, may be H2 regions ionized by a nearby hot star. Examples in Orion include ones dubbed Running Man and Horsehead. Got an answer from Southwest.
Nebula.
Is correct. 3 points, and I'll read your bonus. In 1960, the capital of Brazil was transferred from this city to the more central Brasilia. Identify this city, whose name in Portuguese is River of January.
Wave, Rio de Janeiro.
Correct. Rio's Corcovado mountain is the site of this Christian landmark, a massive religious statue created by Paul Landowski.
Wave, Christ the Redeemer.
Is correct. This Rio neighborhood is named for the patron saint of Bolivia. Known for its beaches, it shares its name with the renowned New York City nightclub.
Sao Paulo. It's a region.
Captain.
Sao Paulo.
Now I needed Copacabana. 2 right for 3 points, and that brings us to halftime. Welcome back. We have a wonderful match against Southwest versus Eastlake. Southwest is ahead at 81 and Eastlake at 28, but there's 18 minutes left to play, and we'll start with our substitutions for Southwest. Captain, would you please introduce your new player?
Yeah, for seat number 1, we have Allison Lawyer.
Okay, very good. And no substitutions for Eastlake, so we're going to get right into it with the toss-up question for both teams. In 1998 and 2002, this structure experienced bleaching events caused by above-average water temperatures. Other factors that have reduced its size by 50% over the last 27 years include 2009's for Eastlake.
Ozone layer.
For Southwest, in 1998 and 2002, this structure experienced bleaching events caused by above-average water temperatures. Other factors that have reduced its size by 50% over the last 27 years include 2009's Cyclone Hamish and the Crown of Thorns starfish. Name this coral reef in Australia. For Southwest.
The Great Barrier Reef.
Is correct. 3 points and your bonus. Ralph Vaughan Williams wrote one of these works named Norfolk. Name this musical genre of which George Gershwin wrote an example in blue.
Wave,
Captain?
Rhapsody.
Correct. This composer wrote a Rhapsody Española, but is more noted for a work with a crescending snare drum ostinato titled Bolero. Captain?
Ravel.
Ravel is correct. This composer wrote 19 Hungarian rhapsodies for piano, including the Rákóczi March.
Hungarian.
Captain?
List.
Is correct. All 3 for 5 points. Toss up. Much of this structure was rebuilt after the Tumu crisis. Its westernmost pass, named Excellent Valley, is in Gansu province. Intrusions by the for Eastlake.
Great Wall of China.
Correct. 3 points and your bonus. In one book by this author, the narrator's young brother swallows a pet turtle. Name this author who wrote Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing, as well as Tiger Eyes, Blubber, and Just as Long as We're Together.
Wave Time Cleary.
No, I needed Judy Blume. Second part, the protagonist of this Blume novel struggles to decide whether she identifies as Jewish or Christian and anxiously awaits her first period.
Wave time. Margaret.
I needed the novel.
No answer.
Okay, I needed Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
Oh, okay.
Third part, Bloom has also written several books named for this rambunctious member of the Hatcher family who continually annoys his brother Peter.
Fudge. Wave time. Fudge.
Is correct. 1 right for 1 point.
Okay.
Toss up. Pencil and paper ready. 10 seconds. Kim needs to find the Cartesian coordinates of the point where the equations y equals 3x plus 4 and y equals negative 5x plus 12 intersect. She begins by setting the equations equal to each other and finding the x coordinate. Find for Eastlake.
7.
1,7 is correct. 3 points. Your bonus. This is the only major philosophical movement to have originated in the U.S. Name this movement, whose founders include Charles Peirce. It emphasizes the importance of practice as opposed to theory.
Pragmatism. Wave time. Pragmatism.
Correct. This American thinker is best known for his book, Pragmatism. His brother Henry wrote The Turn of the
Wave
Screw.
time. James.
Correct. This 20th century philosopher was a follower of James and a developer of pragmatism. His works include The Public and Its Problems and Democracy and Education.
Dewey.
Wave time. Dewey.
Correct. All 3. 5 points. Toss up. P.R. Deltoid spits on the protagonist of this work, who is sent to for Eastlake.
Clockwork Orange.
Correct. 3 points. Your bonus. This technique detects opaque substances. Name this diagnostic technique often used to diagnose broken bones, developed by Wilhelm
Wave
Röntgen.
time. X-ray.
Correct. A specialized form of X-ray imaging is this technique in which pressure is applied to the breast to detect masses that could be
Wave
cancerous.
time. Mammogram.
Is correct and acceptable. To improve contrast in X-ray images of the digestive system, patients are often asked to swallow this element's sulfate salt.
You think? What goes? Wave time. Potassium.
No, it's barium. 2 right for 3 points. Toss up. The rise of this nation's nobility, the Szlachta, came after the Union of Lublin joined it with Lithuania. This nation was partitioned 3 times in the 18th century by Austria for Eastlake.
Hungary.
For Southwest. The rise of this nation's nobility, the Szlachta, came after the Union of Lublin joined it with Lithuania. This nation was partitioned 3 times in the 18th century by Austria, Prussia, and Russia. Name this Eastern for Southwest.
Poland.
Poland is correct. 3 points and your bonus. Answer the following about German unification. The unification Germany was completed after Prussia defeated this nation in 1871. Its Palace of Versailles was used for the proclamation of the German Empire.
Wave France.
Correct. This Iron Chancellor was responsible for the unification of Germany.
Wave Bismarck.
Correct. Bismarck gave this 1862 speech advocating the use of military force to achieve unification.
Wave Blood and Iron.
Blood and Iron is correct. All 3 for 5 points. Toss up. At the beginning of this novel, Bishop Myriel gives silver candlesticks to an ex-convict. That man for Southwest.
Les Miserables.
Les Miserables is correct. 3 points. Your bonus. This quantity is measured in Newton meters, which is dimensionally but not conceptually equivalent to joules. Name that rotational analog of force.
No. What?
Torque.
Centripetal force? Torque. Rotational. Torque.
Captain.
Torque.
Torque is correct. This quantity, calculated by summing mass times distance from the axis squared, is the rotational analog of mass.
Work.
I don't know.
Captain.
Work.
Now I need a moment of inertia. Third part, dividing the torque by the moment of inertia produces this physical quantity.
Angular momentum. Angular momentum.
Captain.
Angular momentum.
Angular acceleration. Very close. 1 right, though, for 1 point. Toss up. This state split its 2008 electoral votes because, like for Eastlake.
Nebraska.
Is correct. 3 points. And your bonus. Name these British ships that made journeys across the Pacific. Francis Drake's flagship was this vessel, formerly called the Pelican.
Wave time. Bird.
It's the Golden Hind. Second, Charles Darwin served as a naturalist on board
Wave
this
time.
ship.
Beagle.
Correct. NASA's final space shuttle was named for this vessel that carried out Captain Cook's first voyage to the Pacific. Captain.
Discovery.
It's HMS Endeavour. One right for 1 point. Toss up. One of these instruments, made by Sagnac, has 3 mirrors and a beam splitter at the corners of a square. Another, using silvered mirrors to split, for Southwest.
Camera.
For Eastlake. One of these instruments, made by Sagnac, has 3 mirrors and a beam splitter at the corners of a square. Another, using half-silvered mirrors to split and recombine light rays, disproved the existence of the ether. Name these experimental devices used by Albert Michelson. For Eastlake.
Lasers.
I needed interferometers. Toss-up. This man's presidency saw the passing of the Keating-Owen Act and the Clayton Antitrust Act. For Southwest.
Wilson.
Is correct. 3 points. And your bonus. This man is friends with Gabriel Utterson, who gave him the cane used to kill Sir Danvers Carey. Name this scientist whose alter ego is the brutal Mr. Hyde.
Dr. Jekyll. Wave.
Captain.
Dr. Jekyll.
Correct. This Scottish author of Kidnapped wrote The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Wave.
Captain.
Robert Louis Stevenson.
Correct. Kidnapped begins with this protagonist going to visit his uncle Ebenezer, who lives in the House of Shaws. Captain.
Please refer to player 5.
5.
Henry Usher.
I needed David Balfour, so that would be 2 right for 3 points. Toss up. The title youth wears a crown of pink flowers and a blue outfit in this artist's Boy with a Pipe, and he showed women with African mask-like faces in Les Demoiselles for Eastlake.
Picasso.
Picasso is correct. 3 points. Your bonus. Give the following about boxing. In Britain, people traditionally gave gifts to their servants and social inferiors on Boxing Day, a holiday that falls on this date.
Boxing Day.
Wave time, December 26th.
Correct. The first line of this 1926 Ernest Hemingway novel set in Spain is, Robert Cohn was once the middleweight boxing champion of Princeton.
Wave time, boxer.
It's the sun also rises.
Okay.
Third, if the wind's direction moves in a full circle around a speaker, he would say that it had boxed this naval tool. Captain.
Sonar.
That's the compass. 1 right for 1 point. Toss up. Mr. Ages gives medicine to the title widow in this novel, which is mostly set on the Fitzgibbon farm. This book's other title figures are led by Nicodemus after they escaped a state laboratory. Name this novel in which Timothy's mother meets intellectually enhanced rodents. For Eastlake.
Flowers for Algernon.
For Southwest. Mr. Aegis gives medicine to the title widow in this novel, which is mostly set on the Fitzgibbon farm. This book's other title figures are led by Nicodemus after they escape a state laboratory. Name this novel in which Timothy's mother meets intellectually enhanced rodents. For Southwest.
The Rats of Nim.
I needed the full title, and so it's Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim. So, toss-up for both teams. This leader used the election slogan, Garabi Hatao, or Stop Poverty. She authorized the Smiling Buddha test and intervened in favor of Bangladesh during the Pakistani Civil War. For Southwest.
Indira Gandhi.
Indira Gandhi is correct. 3 points, and your bonus. Answer the following about 19th century wars involving Native Americans. Custer's last stand took place at this 1876 battle, where the U.S. 7th Cavalry was wiped out.
Wave.
Captain?
Wounded Knee.
No, I needed Little Bighorn. The second of these wars, which was fought in the 1830s, involved such leaders as Osceola.
Black Hawk Wars. 1830.
Captain?
Black Hawk Wars.
It's the Seminole Wars. Third part, Abraham Lincoln fought in this 1832 war against the chief, who was finally defeated at Bad Axe.
Wave.
Captain?
Black Hawk.
That is the Black Hawk War. 1 right for 1 point. Timeout for Eastlake.
Monday morning came too soon. It's entering my...
We have 6:38 left to play in this semifinal match. Southwest 110, Eastlake 51. And we'll start with our substitutions for Southwest. Captain, would you please introduce your new player?
Yeah, for seat number 4, we have Arnold Cruz.
Thank you and welcome. And for Eastlake, Captain, introduce yourself and your new players.
Hi, I'm Paula. I'm the new captain. And to my very right is Suzanne. To my right is Denise. To my left is Nika. And to my very left is Bonnie.
Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and get started right in with a toss-up question for both teams. For a Poisson distribution, this value is the square root of the only parameter. The z-score is the number of multiples of this quantity by which a data point differs from the distribution's mean. Give this quantity, symbolized sigma, the square root of the variance. For Southwest.
Standard variation.
Say it again.
Standard variation.
For Eastlake. For a Poisson distribution, this value is the square root of the only parameter. The z-score is the... For Eastlake.
Standard deviation.
That's what I needed, deviation. Thank you. 3 points and a bonus. He wrote about the transport of Addie Bundren's body in As I Lay Dying. Name this American author of Light in August and Absalom, Absalom. Captain?
Hemingway.
It's William Faulkner. Faulkner set several works in the fictional Yoknapatawpha County, located in this southern state where Faulkner was born.
Wave time.
Captain?
Mississippi.
Correct. In this Faulkner short story, residents of the town of Jefferson are bothered by a strong odor coming from the house of the title spinster.
Oh, Mr. Joy, I'm so sorry. Brooks.
Captain?
Brooks.
I needed a rose for Emily. One right for 1 point. Toss-up. The protagonist of this novel leaves Logan Killicks for Jody Starks, who becomes mayor of Eatonville. Later, its protagonist moves to the Everglades with her true love, who is bitten by a rabid dog. Tea-Cake is shot by Janie Crawford in what for Southwest?
Their eyes were watching God.
Is correct. 3 points and your bonus. Name these cellular structures. These are storage areas for nutrients, waste, water, or other substances. Captain?
Vacuole.
Correct. Coming in smooth and rough types, this organelle produces proteins and lipids for the cell. Captain?
Endoplasmic reticulum.
Correct. This substructure is the site of RNA and ribosome synthesis. Captain?
Nucleus.
No, it's the nucleolus. 2 right for 3 points. Toss-up. The damming of this river creates Fort Peck Lake in the Charles M. Russell Refuge. This river receives the Gallatin and Jefferson rivers before passing through Pierre and Bismarck. Name this river, which joins the Mississippi River near St. Louis in its namesake for Southwest. Missouri is correct. 3 points. Your bonus. The cities of Tarifa and Tangier are found at the ends of this body of water. Name this narrow body of water located at the western end of the Mediterranean Sea. Captain?
Strait of Gibraltar.
Correct. Since its capture in 1704, the small territory of Gibraltar has been controlled by this European nation. Captain?
Great Britain.
Is correct. And just south of the Strait of Gibraltar is this Spanish exclave of Morocco, typically paired with Melilla.
Got it.
No, Ceuta is what I needed. 2 right for 3 points. Toss-up. These particles were identified because radiation emitted from polonium onto lithium could not be gamma rays. Heavy elements can be synthesized via these particles' namesake capture. James for Eastlake.
Electrons.
For Southwest, these particles were identified because radiation emitted from polonium onto lithium could not be gamma rays. Heavy elements can be synthesized via these particles' namesake capture. James Chadwick discovered what particles found in the nucleus that have no charge? Southwest.
Neutrons.
Is correct. 3 points and your bonus. Pencil and paper ready. 10 seconds each part. Consider a rectangular prism that measures 3 by 5 by 7. What is the volume of the prism?
Oh.
15 times 7.
105.
105.
Yeah.
Captain?
105.
Correct. What is the surface area of the prism?
There's 6 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my god.
72.
Captain?
Please defer to player number 5.
Player 5?
142.
Correct. What is the length of a space diagonal connecting opposite vectors?
You do the triangle.
Captain?
42.
Square root of 83. 2 though for 3 points. Timeout. With a minute 25 left to play, we have Southwest 127, Eastlake 54, and substitutions for both teams. Southwest captain, new captain, please introduce your new teammates.
Okay, I'm Allison, and on my very right is George, on my right is Victor, and on my left is Max.
Thank you very much. And Eastlake, please introduce your new teammates.
On my very right is Jordan, and to my very left is Sheila.
Wonderful. We'll go ahead and get started right in with the toss-up question. This will be for both teams. If I can find it. There it is. This mythological creature fought in battles against the Solymi and the Amazons before being tasked with carrying Zeus's thunderbolts. This creature was born when Perseus decapitated Medusa and helped kill the Southwest.
Pegasus.
Pegasus is correct. 3 points and your bonus. When he was a baby, his mother saved his life by sending him down the Nile River in a basket. Name this man who parted the Red Sea while freeing the Hebrew slaves from Egypt. Captain?
Moses.
Correct. This brother of Moses, who spoke for him in Egypt, later forged the golden calf while the Israelites wandered in the desert. Captain?
Aaron.
Correct. The wife of Moses saved his life by circumcising their son and was the daughter of the Midianite prince Jethro. Captain?
Sarah.
It's Zipporah. 2 right for 3 points. Toss up. Near the end of this man's reign, Gaius Julius Vindex revolted against him and tried to proclaim Galba as emperor. The son of Agrippina the younger succeeded his great-uncle Claudius in AD 54. Name this Roman emperor who supposedly fiddled while Rome burned. For Eastlake.
Nero.
Correct. 3 points and your bonus. The French thinker Auguste Comte, and I'll read your bonus, is considered the founder of this discipline. Name this social science whose prominent thinkers include Robert K. Merton and Max Weber.
No. That's what I was going to say.
Captain?
Domingoism.
It's sociology. Second, this other French author was one of the leading early sociologists. His works include a book about suicide and 1912's The Elementary Forms of Religious Life.
Wave.
Captain?
Durkheim.
Correct. One prominent American school of sociology was associated with this Midwestern university. Members of that school included Ernest Burgess and George Herbert Mead. Captain?
School of Domingo.
It's the University of Chicago. 1 right for 1 point, and that's the match. Great job to both teams.
Thank you, Daniel. Indeed it is. And there's one thing for sure. South Bay produces a lot of really great academic league teams. In this particular match, Southwest came out of the starting blocks at full speed and just never really slowed down. So our final score, 134 for Southwest and 58 for Eastlake, which means for the Sweetwater League championship match, it'll be Olympian against Southwest. I don't know about you, but I'm predicting a barn burner of a match. We hope that you will watch it here on ITV. Thanks for being with us. Students?